Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
And Your Honor, I've already spoken with both of the defendants.
Thank you. All right, we're back. I'm having a good day, but a busy one. We've completed the Liberty Bell ceremony. We had a meeting at lunch with an update on county activity, and now we've got jail arraignments, setting bail, and then we've got last pretrials before jury. So we'll get right to it. Hello, booking Judge Middleton calling. Could I see two jail arraignments? I'd like to see Mark Edward Baker and Cody Dale Brownidge. All right, thanks a lot. Bye. A bunch of new guys. Michelle, I don't even know who I was talking to right there. Good afternoon, sir. Are you Mark Edward Baker?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Baker, this is Judge Middleton. Today's the day I'm covering for some jail arraignments. You got arrested last night in file number 25761FY and charged with the offense of possessing methamphetamine on or about March 24th. That is charged as a second or subsequent offense, making it a felony punishable by up to 20 years imprisonment as a third habitual offender, which theoretically would make this punishable by up to life imprisonment. Casey Strong is here on behalf of the Public Defender's Office, and she is here monitoring and participating in these proceedings. You have a pretrial tomorrow on a traffic case where you were driving suspended, I want to say like March 9th. One of the things that troubled me about this is you were driving again on this case on March 24th. And you have a previous driving suspended case that you've never paid the bond. I mean, you never paid the fine. Are you still living here on Baroque Street?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you employed?
No, Your Honor.
Who do you live with?
My wife.
I don't think you're on any probation or parole anywhere, are you? That's all resolved.
No. Yes. I'm looking into getting back into support groups and counseling.
All right. Were you in those?
No, I was looking into them.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. I was looking and landed on Mars too, but I haven't quite got there. Back in 2022, you had a driving suspended charge that was reduced. You were on a payment plan for a while. You made a few payments. And you haven't made a payment since 2022, $50. We wrote you a letter. We're getting back in the swing of things, trying to collect on those. So you didn't pay that fine. Then I don't know. It can't be very much. It's probably about $100 that's left on it. Then you got charged with driving suspended in file number 25431. And that is set for a pretrial conference tomorrow. You have an attorney in that case. Attorney Knopfinger, he was here today. So that's set for tomorrow. That was March 9th. This case was March 26th. And the affidavit in this case isn't terribly earth-shaking. It states that, and this is just an affidavit, it's not cast in stone, but they pulled you over for driving in the middle of Centerville. You live in Centerville. It's so dinky. They know you're suspended. You get a ticket in March 9th, and in March 24th, you're driving again, which leads me to believe you just don't care.
I do.
Mr.
And then
Baker.
they found a small amount of methamphetamine in your possession, which is a cause for concern, but the driving might be even more of a cause, meaning you just don't care about things. You're not a flight risk. You've always appeared. You're not a terrible danger. But I'm offended by the fact that you got a driving suspended reduced. You didn't pay the fine. You got another driving suspended 2 weeks before you get this one. And so it makes me think you're not taking things very seriously. Where are you gonna go when you get out? Yes, sir?
I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna get into counseling and support groups, and I'm done driving until I get it figured out. My word. I mean, I can't do this no more. I'm about to lose my family.
Yes, methamphetamine, excuse me, takes you down that path. And you're about to lose your life if you keep dancing on ice this thin.
That's what
All
I
right, don't
don't
say
want.
much more at this point. Ms. Strong, got anything to add?
No, Your Honor, my client, in my conversations with him, we would ask for a not guilty plea to enter, and he's demanding his preliminary examination and court-appointed counsel at this time. As it's related to bond, he has lived in St. Joseph County half or more of his life. As the court indicated and my client indicated in our private conversations, he always shows up. He would be willing to comply with pretrial services, and he does have limited resources, so we would ask the court to consider that in posting his bond.
Yes, he has enough money to buy methamphetamine, but doesn't have enough money to pay his court fines. I'm gonna show you a plea of not guilty. And I'm going to set a preliminary examination conference, known as a pre-exam conference, for May 13th, 25. And prelim if needed for May 20th at 1. You have a court-appointed attorney on the other case, which is Mr. Knopfsinger. So that'd be my preference. It is condition of your bond that you not use any drugs or alcohol. No weapons, no assaultive behavior. The way this is charged, although it's just a small amount of methamphetamine, it's a life offense. Because of your history as a previously convicted drug defendant and a previous felon, it enhances it. No drugs and no alcohol. I am going to order pretrial services. I'm going to set the bond. Maybe we can get this fine paid at $1,000 cash or surety. If you post the bond, you need to be here at court tomorrow at 8:30 to meet with your lawyer on your other case. If you don't post the bond, we'll connect to you by Zoom.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you get out of jail, if you do, you're to contact pretrial services at 269-467-5606, and that's on the form here. So
Okay.
You're not really a danger to the public and you're not a flight risk, but it is a situation where you're not taking your obligation seriously. And I joke with people about driving in Three Rivers or Sturgis and say, they're gonna see you. You're driving in Centerville. They didn't impound your car. They didn't even charge you with driving suspended. But they could have. So Your pre-exam is May 13th at 8:30. Your lawyer, I believe, will be Luke Knopfinger unless there's a reason why he shouldn't be. And I will talk to you tomorrow morning at your pretrial on your other case. If you bond out, you need to be here. It's just down the street. If you don't bond out, I'll zoom you in from the jail or have you brought over. All right, you're good to go. Your bond is $1,000 cash or surety with conditions.
Thank you, Your
And if you
Honor.
pay the cash, I'll pay off your old unpaid tickets. All right, sir, I'll see you tomorrow. You're good to go, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. On the drive in, I could see all the tree flowers blowing around, and I think the current pollen count is 1 billion particles of pollen per square inch. Switch gears into Mr. Brownidge's file. Good afternoon, sir. I'll be with you in a minute.
Okay.
Are you Cody Dale Brownidge?
Yes, sir, I am.
We've met, but I need to identify you for the record. The file number here is 25798. Mr. Brownidge, let me pull the case back up. You're charged in a complaint that alleges on April 23rd, just a little bit ago, you committed a domestic violence on Brandy Bontrager, an individual with whom you had a dating relationship. This is alleged to be a third offense domestic violence charge. There are 2 counts. The same defendant. Third offense domestic violence is a felony. It's punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment. You're also charged as a 4th habitual offender, which I think would make this punishable by up to 15 years imprisonment. The booking and bond information that I read this morning is pretty frightening. Anyway, that's the allegation. So I need to set your bond and appoint an attorney for you. So I'm going to show a plea of not guilty. I'm going to set a pre-exam conference for May 13th at 8:30 and a preliminary examination if needed for May 20th at 1. I'm going to appoint an attorney. I believe it's going to be Ross Truckee. The public defender's office will actually appoint an attorney. Now, my understanding is that you're on parole right now. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And who's your parole agent? Jeb Miller?
Yes, sir.
Does he know about this?
Yeah.
You've spoken to him?
Yes, I have.
Does he have a hold on you?
Yeah, he has a hold on me right now.
What are you on parole for?
Possession of meth and a B&E, but I've been doing really good on parole. You know, I literally just got picked up at work.
You owe me money and various and sundry things over the years.
Yeah.
In 2021, you were convicted of interfering with a crime report, domestic assault, assault and battery, and malicious destruction of property. You did 30 days jail in order to pay fines and costs and restitutions to Nicole Samuels. And I don't believe you ever paid anything. So that's unpaid. That's file 22230 SM. 2-1. Where were you working?
Forest River and White Pigeon.
Where are you living?
54810 Brownidge on Corral Road.
All right. A lot of stuff out of Leonidas lately.
Yeah.
This case is very concerning to me. Let me read you what I got from the bond information report.
Mhm.
I don't want you to say anything about it. I'm just telling you, this is the information that was provided to me. The complainant, Brandy, indicated she got in a vehicle with you and your boyfriend. She thought you would take her home. Went the opposite direction of home. You started smoking marijuana.
I drug test 3 times a week or every month. So
Oh,
Don't say anything.
So, excuse me, she started smoking marijuana. And then you're saying terrible things to her. The next thing is she woke up in Theore's emergency room. Asked why he slammed on the brakes, said he was being suicidal and he was going to jump out. Why didn't he grab her or slow down? Spoke with Cody. He said, Brandy, we're going down to do a fishing spot. She was hanging out the sunroof door. A deer came out. I only had 2 beers. I'll still respect you in the morning. The check's in the mail and a deer came out and he had to slam on the brakes. He did not call law enforcement. He picked Brandy up off the ground and took her to the emergency room. But she said, as her boyfriend Cody punched her in the face with a closed fist twice, leaving her with black eyes. While speaking with Brandy, I observed a variety of serious injuries, said visible bruises under both eyes, more on her left eye, a large amount of cuts, scrapes, scabs, and swelling on her hands, feet, and back. She had stitches in her forehead and several staples in her skull. Brandy was at the courthouse getting a PPO. She had her children at home, packing her belongings, hoping to move. I have not discussed this with Mr. Miller. And the Casey Strong is here from the prosecuting attorney's office. I mean, from the public defender's office, and the victim advocates are here from the prosecutor's office. Ms. Strong, you had any input here?
Thank you, Your Honor. As it relates to bond, I would make note that Mr. Brownidge is working. He is on parole and has had contact with his parole officer and reports to me that he's been doing well on parole. So he does have supervision if he is to be released. He's indicated that he would comply with all pretrial services, and he understands that if he is released on bond, there will be a no contact provision. He will respect that no contact provision, and he does have a place to go that is away from the alleged victim. So we would ask for a reasonable bond that he does have the ability to post in this matter.
Thank you. They didn't put a criminal history in here, which is frustrating. But your criminal history is extensive. The habitual notice that you have been previously convicted of assaulting a spouse or former spouse on at least 2 previous occasions. You have a previous conviction of possession of methamphetamine in 2022. I think that's the case you're on parole for. You also have a possession of methamphetamine conviction in 2018. So you have 2 methamphetamine convictions and multiple convictions for domestic violence or assaultive offenses. And you haven't paid your fines for the last case. And you're on parole. So until he lifts the parole hold, you're not going anywhere. Darn it. Aggravated domestic violence charged April of 2015, reduced to disturbing the peace. So that's not much of a conviction. Resisting obstructing a police officer in 2017. You were placed on probation on an attempt RNO and you failed the probation and it was revoked, and Judge Pattison sent you to jail. Your methamphetamine case that resulted in a conviction in 2018. Domestic violence from August of 2020. You were placed on probation. The probation was revoked. Judge Pattison put you in jail. And that's a domestic violence conviction. Then you have the conviction I previously mentioned from 2021, where you were again charged with domestic assault. You haven't paid the fines and costs in that case. That was a strict jail sentence. So you have a couple of failed probations, 2 previous methamphetamine felony convictions, 2 assaultive convictions, one of which resulted in a probation that was revoked, one of which resulted in a straight jail sentence and you never paid the fines and costs. And you're on parole. Bond is denied. Can be revisited at the time of the pre-exam conference. But in the event a bond is set, no drugs and no alcohol, no contact with Brandy Bontrager. I don't know if she flew out the sunroof or got hit and then flew out the sunroof, or what the conditions were. I guess we'll find out. No weapons, no assaultive behavior, and under pretrial supervision. Right now, the bond's denied for the reasons I stated. I'll share this information with your parole agent. Prosecutor can communicate with him and determine where we're going to go. Anyway, I've appointed Attorney Ross Truckee to represent you, or other attorney that will be selected by the Public Defender's Office. As I indicated, the bond can be revisited at that time. But until I get a better handle on this, with this parole hold, I think you're right where you need to be. Means you're going to lose your job probably. But I'm not, I stated my reasons. All right, Mr. Truckee will come out to the jail and see you. And I'll see you on the 13th of May. Thank you. You're good to go.